everyone, welcome to today's current affairs session of Civilspedia. The topics we are going to see is Security Transaction Tax, Poshan Abhiyan, NSDC, and with respect to editorial topics, Article 35A and Superpower Syndrome. So let's go to the first topic, Security Transaction Tax. What does this tax is? As the name itself says, it is the tax that has been put on the securities when they are transacted through a registered stock exchange or through a recognized corporations. So this tax came as direct tax. And second keyword we have to notice it has been transacted through the recognized stock exchanges. So what is the issues coming on regarding this security transaction taxes? Recently, State of Bombay High Court has that security transaction tax regarding this, that stockbrokers who are the members of the stock exchange or act as merely as the collecting agencies. So if there is any shortfalls in collecting the tax rate of this security transaction tax, the financial burden cannot be put on these people, that is the stock exchange brokers. So the court says that we cannot pass on the burden to this stock exchange brokers. So if there is any shortfalls, then the remaining persons has to be taken care of it. So with these things, we will see what are the securities on which this security transaction tax can be applied. So first thing is the shares, debentures, derivatives, equity mutual funds, and any collective investment scheme units. With that things, we can put this security transaction tax. So on which of the things we cannot put security transaction tax? Then it comes this off-market share transactions, which is nothing but these share transfers will not happen publicly traded through the stock exchanges. For example, these legacy transfers, that is nothing but between the family members or between the inheritance that shares has been transferred, or through the gifts or transfer shares between two demat accounts. Then this will not come under as a publicly traded under the stock exchanges. So these shares will not be come under this security transaction tax. So who will decide the rate of this tax? Whether this security market, capital market regulator like SEBI or RBI or government, who will decide the tax? So as the name tax itself says, people came to know that there is no representation, there is no taxation without representation. So it is the government is the ultimate authority to decide the tax. So on what basis the tax will be decided? There comes the next question. So it will be decided on the type of securities, that is it is a shares or debentures or derivatives. And second thing is on depending on the type of the transactions. For example, whether it is the delivery based transactions or it is the intraday transactions. The difference between these two is the intraday transactions is nothing but a speculative transactions. That is the trader will buy the shares in the same day itself he will sell the shares. So it is the intraday transactions. So in this thing, the government will put for the buyers there is no security transaction tax, but for the sellers they will put 0.025% on the total amount that has been transacted. Regarding the delivery based transactions, it's nothing but the trader will buy the shares and after overnight he will sell it on the next day or in the upcoming days, any number of days. So if the transaction is like that, then both the buyer and the seller has to pay 0.1% of the total transaction as the security transaction tax. With that things, we will end up this security transaction tax. Our next topic, Poshan Abhiyan or National Nutrition Mission. Why it is in news recently is there was a 14 lakh fake entries of children enlisted in this beneficiary list in the Assam state. So with that thing, the ministry said for each children under the scheme, for each children for each day, minimum 8 rupees has been spent on the children. So, and within the spending, the center to state relationship is 60% the center will share and 40% the state will share. With that thing, the loss of more than 1 crore rupees per day is happening under this scheme. So that is the veracity of this scheme right now. Then regarding the scheme, who are the beneficiaries? So pregnant women, lactating mothers and children belongs to 0 to 6 years. And adolescent girls are the beneficiaries of this scheme. What is the nodal ministry involved in this scheme? This scheme is nothing but World Bank assisted. It will come under the World Bank assisted Integrated Child Development Scheme. This mission is implemented under it. The unique nature of this scheme is it is the convergence of so many ministries under this mission. So with that thing, the nodal ministry is Ministry of Women and Child Development. So there are so many other ministries are also involving in it. So next, who are the targets of this scheme? So major 4 targets in it: the stunting, undernutrition, low birth weight, and anemia. Among that, the target is for the stunting, the children belonging to 0 to 6 years from 38% to 25% by 2022. And regarding the anemia, among children, women and adults and girls, 3% per annum has to be reduced. And regarding these top 3 things, 2% per annum has to be reduced. So recently, the Ministry of Women and Child Development has launched 5 ELA courses, that is incremental learning opportunities, incremental learning approaches courses, and 2 ECCE courses, that is early childhood care and education software modules. And also the ministry said that it will incentivize the Anganwadi workers who are to use this IT tools, that is information technology tools. So more and more IT tools if has been implemented, then this fake beneficiaries list will be sorted down. Then the ministry has announced the September month as National Nutrition Month, and it will be celebrated every year from now onwards. The major peculiar nature of this scheme is nothing but the success of the scheme lies in synergy of frontline functionaries like National Rural Livelihood Mission, Self-Help Group, Auxiliary Nursery Midwife, Cooperatives, Swasth Bharat Paraks. The synergy of these people in the scheme will make the scheme as a successful. With that thing, we will end up this scheme and we will move on to the next topic. NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. What is the news right now with regarding this NSDC is, there was a tug of war between CAG and NSDC. Recently, the CAG says that it will audit NSDC, but because so many schemes like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, so many Skill India mission schemes has been implemented by NSDC, and the fund is coming from the Consolidated Fund of India. So the CAG says we will audit you, but NSDC says that it is PP model. So that was 49% government shareholding and 51% private shareholding. The NSDC says that CAG can audit the schemes implemented by them, but they cannot audit the whole organization because 51% was from private. So for the 51% private holding, the CAG cannot be audited. They said like that. So the tug of war is going between the CAG and NSDC. This tug of war is not happening right now. There was earlier also another tug of war between this CAG and GST network. There also this PPP model implemented. They said we are a private organization, so we cannot be 51% is with private, so you cannot audit us. Then finally, the finance minister said that no, CAG can audit us. But regarding this, still no, the issue is not sorted down. So let us see about what are the issues or things we have to know about NSDC. So this NSDC is nothing but not-for-profit company set up under Ministry of Finance in 2008. And it is the PPP model under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So with that thing, the 49% is holded by Government of India and 51% is holded by private. And most importantly, it derives its power from this Companies Act. Then what is the objective of this NSDC? So the name itself says skill development. That shows that we have to enhance the skill of this Indian people. So they put the target as by 2022, India needs additional 104 million workforce. And India is going to be the human capital. That is, they are going to send these humans to Indians to this world market of developed countries, especially the developed countries. So with that things, the skilling is the ultimate need of this hour. So not only skilling, there are 2 important other things. That is reskilling and upskilling also plays a huge role. Because India have skipped the manufacturing sector and directly jumped from primary sector into service sector market. In the service sector, especially upskilling and reskilling plays a huge role. Because recently the incidents of layoff by Verizona and so many giant software companies shows that there is a high need of reskilling, upskilling. Otherwise, after the age of 40 or 45, it is very hard to survive in the service sector field. And regarding the manufacturing sector, India has now started to focus on the manufacturing sector through Make in India and so many other schemes. Because our country is going to have this demographic dividend, that is huge bulge of youth populations. They are going to enter this skill market, that is a job market. So we need to have so much of skilled people. Earlier that Korea, Japan or China, when they entered into this manufacturing sector, that time low end of a skill is needed, is enough to get the job. But we, India, has a latecomers to this field. So right now in this automatic era, more and more automatic machines and artificial intelligence is occupying the job market. So we cannot directly have this low-end skill. With that low-end skill, we cannot get the jobs right now. So to succeed in this manufacturing sector, we need to have higher end of skills. So with this lower performance in maths and English, with this reports, we cannot have this people or this youth population to get a job in a highly specialized one. So this NSDC has to get a need of this high specialized skilling. Then another important thing is the report has says that last year itself there was 30 lakh people has been skilled by this NSDC program, but only 3 lakh people get the offers. What about the rest of the people? What will happen to them? So job offers getting is also one of the highly needed. So what is the market demand and what is the industry is especially demanding? With the analyzing that, this National Skill Development Corporation has to frame the setup of what are the curriculum we can give so that the people will get job quickly. So with that things, recently the NSDC has partnered with Amazon's Meri Shakeli initiative. It is nothing but it's concentrate to increase the female digital literacy. With that thing, we will end up this topic and we will move on to next topic, main topic, Article 35A. Article 35A is nothing but regarding Jammu Kashmir. It is a provision given to Jammu Kashmir. So it deals with residential status and property acquisition in Jammu Kashmir. Also, second important point is it allows the Jammu Kashmir State Assembly to define its permanent residents. So who are these permanent residents? There comes the two conditions. One is who is the state subject on 14th May 1954 or reside in Jammu Kashmir for at least 10 years. First condition. The second condition is there has to be lawfully acquired immovable property in Jammu Kashmir. If any citizen is satisfying these two conditions, then they will be called as permanent residents under this definition of Jammu and Kashmir State Assembly. Then how it was inserted? That is this Article 35A, how it was inserted into the Constitution. There comes the controversy. Because this article was not inserted like any other articles. Because other articles has been inserted through Article 368. But this article was inserted through some special means. What does that mean is, under 1952 Delhi Agreement, this Article 35A been incorporated into the Constitution in 1954 by the Presidential Order under the Article 370 Class 1D. So through the Presidential Order only it has been inserted. There only the controversies are. What this Article 371D says that it allows the President to make certain exceptions to the Constitution of India for the benefits of Jammu and Kashmir. So with that deriving power from this, the President through his Presidential Order in 1954, this Article 35A has been incorporated. Next thing is, why the controversies arises right now? What are the controversies that is regarding with this Article 35A? First one is, recently Delhi NGO, Delhi-based NGO, We the Citizens has petitioned the Supreme Court that Article 35A is acting as a great wall of China because it splits the Jammu Kashmir from other states. So it acts against the spirit of oneness of India, they said as, because it strictly violated Article 16. Because under Article 16, everybody has to equal opportunity in employment. But non-residents, that is non-permanent residents of Jammu Kashmir cannot get job or any other special provisions in the Jammu and Kashmir. So it strictly violates Article 16. And second thing is women's discrimination. Because under this article, what they say is this, if a woman, Jammu Kashmir woman, married to a non-Jammu Kashmir person, then that woman has no problem. She will have this property rights and all other rights. But the children born to that woman will not have the succession rights. That comes the discrimination. So that it will severely violate the Article 14. That is nothing but right to equality before law. So this Jammu Kashmir women who married a non-Jammu Kashmir will violated this Article 14. So why it is important right now is what are the issues and court handling regarding this is, as per the Article 368, it empowers only the Parliament to amend the Constitution of India, but it was inserted through the presidential order. So the question arises, did the president act outside his jurisdiction? And also second question is, it Article 35A void as it was not placed before the Parliament for discussion. The answer to the first question was done by the Supreme Court in Purandal Lakanpal case in 1961. In that case, the Supreme Court observed that it is the power for the president to have inserting an article under Article 371D. But they was very silent, but the judgment was silent about whether without the knowledge of Parliament, the president can insert the article. There comes the question. That question still remains open. So some people has argued that this Article 370 has been a temporary provision only, because through this, to bring the normality in the Jammu and Kashmir, this article was provided. But it was not taken as a tool to bring a permanent amendment like Article 35A. So this is the argument going against this Article 35A. So coming August 27th only, it will be decided on constitutional bench whether this article has to be scrapped or it is null and void. We will decide it after this August 27 only. With that, we end this topic and we will move on to the next topic, Kerala flood and the superpower syndrome. Because recently the UAE and Qatar and Pakistan has offered help to the India regarding this Kerala flood disaster management. So around 700 crores by UAE and 35 crores by Qatar has been said that they will offer the help to India. But India turned it down, this offer help. Because India said we will not get any assistance, foreign assistance from any foreign countries or even United Nations or international organizations like Red Cross. Because they said it will affect us. And majority in most of the previous examples like in 2004 tsunami and in piracy attacks of Indian issues, they themselves has the ability to handle these issues. So we will not need this external help from any countries, they said. So major reasons why this offer was turned down by government is, first one is, it will affect the India's dream of superpower, because a superpower country means it has the ability to handle all its problem by itself. By getting the offer from another country, it will affect the image of the India in this world arena. So that is the first reason that this India has turned down is. Second reason is, India wanted to have a permanent seat in UN Security Council. To get a permanent seat in the UN Security Council, the country needs to have a special additional financial commitments. So if it is themselves getting a financial assistance from any other countries, then how they will have additional financial commitments with them? So it will debar India from getting the UN Security Council permanent seat. With that thought, India said we will not get any assistance from foreign countries. So, but the is different case to case, because getting a foreign assistance does not only affect the internal affairs of India, because in so many cases, for example, this Thai case, Thai cave rescue, in the world, Thailand has get rescues from so many divers from all over the world to handle that issue. So that is the example says that we can get help from so many countries. So best brain of so many countries can be used to handle our own issues, because that is not a negative thing. Only thing is we have to increase the capability and help other countries in their crisis situations. That is the most needed things, because even though we didn't get the offer in earlier cases of 2004 tsunami case or piracy attacks or in Uttarakhand case, still no, we didn't get. For more than 1 decade we have practicing this only, but still no, we didn't get a permanent seat in UN Security Council, or not even in nuclear security group, nuclear suppliers group, and Asia Pacific Economic Cooperations. So this strategy is not actually working right now. And also regarding this international funding, we are the biggest contributor to the UNDP and also biggest recipient in the UNDP. So we are giving as well as getting from the international funding itself. So international funds right now will not damage the India's image in overall scenario. So with that thing, this topic is important with respect to this GS4, because in GS4 we have a topic of ethical issues behind this international funding. Still no, UPSC didn't ask question from that. So we can expect question from that topic regarding this Kerala flood offer turned down by this India. With that, we will end up today's current affairs session. Thank you. Have a nice day.